YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with our updated rookie power rankings heading into week 6 of the NFL season. Started this series last year, but for this year we started it last week. A lot of movement here. Still early in the season, so one big game could really shift things. I'd say if you see a rookie moving down, it most likely is not because that guy played terrible or anything. It's more so somebody else played great. They're moving up. Something I notice in the comments every time I upload one of these rookie videos is, where is this guy? You're too low on this guy. Mainly people talking about their favorite team's rookie. I'd say, maybe watch the other guys I ranked around him just as much so you can kind of get a fair comparison. We're only ranking 15 here, so everyone here is great. And guys that missed the cut have been playing very well for rookies. It's just only a select few. So keep those things in mind. Here we do this every single week. We got regular power rankings up on the channel as well. We got weekly picks, score predictions, a lot more playoff predictions. We recently did trade deadline videos. So check it out. Join us. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Make sure you follow that Twitter. A lot going on in that Twitter. You're missing out if you're not following it. Link in the comments there for that. So week 6, number 15, a new entry here is Gregory Rousseau of the Bills. He had a pretty big time, prime time game against the Chiefs last week. He's been pretty productive for them too. Not only getting after the quarterback, getting pressure, but stopping the run as well. Getting across the field too, like that high motor guy uses athleticism, his length to get across the field, make the play. So he wasn't ranked last week, even though you see at the top, those are guys that just missed the cut, kind of honorable mentions. I had them pop up at the end of the video last week, and I think people didn't watch to the end because they were asking, why didn't I even mention this guy, that guy, and they were kind of up there. So those are some guys that just missed the cut. Some of those guys were in there last week. It's just more so guys like Rousseau playing so well that they got to be in the top 15 now based on their play. 14, Joe Tryon Shoyinka. He's going to drop a bit. Lack of production. If he would have went out and had an extremely productive game against Miami, it would have been very tough to move him down. But the lack of production on top of other guys just soaring up the rankings, playing great games, resulted in him dropping down. Yeah, again, really not overall as a whole of this early season so far. He's played very well. Big time piece for the Buccaneers. Really enjoyed watching him. So he's at 14 heading into week 6. 13, Asante Samuel Jr. moved down a bit. Yeah, he probably had the worst game of his rookie year, I suppose, last week. But again, as a whole, he's looked very, very, very solid throughout this year. So that's why he still remains in the top 15. But other guys really moving up and, outplayed him by a lot this last week. Kind of shifted the rankings up a bit. So he's down to number 13, but remains in the top 15. 12, Osa Digizua, down 3 spots. Yeah, more so other guys just kind of having to move up with some great performances here. Again, early season, one game isn't going to mean everything, but one game, 1 out of 5 games so far, it's pretty impactful, what you did in those games. So those guys moving up for some really great performances here. But the Cowboys' interior defensive lineman's been great, stopping the run, getting interior pressure. It's been a gem of a pick for the Cowboys. 11, Creed Humphrey's going to remain at 11. He's been playing very solid, good run blocker. It hasn't really allowed, I think I say this every time, but you don't really expect, the centers really shouldn't allow, interior pressure too often, just straight, from the nose tackle. So you kind of expect the guy, starting that Chiefs offensive line with that, with that group to not allow the pressure. But he comes in at number 11. He's been fantastic for the Chiefs. 10, Rondale Moore wasn't ranked. He was one that was borderline, not ranked, just missing the cut last week. And now he's all the way up to 10. Another great performance from him. He's been fantastic. Rondale Moore was one of those guys where I wasn't any higher on, obviously, than the rest of the world, about the same in where I ranked him. But if you remember, as soon as he went to the Cardinals, I loved it. It's exactly what I became higher on Rondale Moore when he went to the Cardinals because it's exactly where he needed to go to have the most production he possibly could have. It's exactly what the Cardinals needed. To kind of need that guy to get the ball underneath the middle of the field specifically. But he's actually done even more than that, and he's showing that downfield, along the sideline. That catch last week on the sideline, toe tap, ridiculous. See how explosive he is no matter where he's got the ball in his hands. So he's been better than expected. Exceeded expectations. He's up to number 10 after a very impressive, well, not only a week, but season. Another guy that wasn't ranked, Kyle Pitts, had a monster day, and he's had kind of steady performances, some solid yards, just kind of waiting on the Falcons to kind of almost force feed him a little more, and kind of, especially in the red zone, and they kind of do that. and he was lights out there against what was a pretty decent defense. I know it's the Jets, but so yeah, you see what Kyle Pitts is capable of. Give him the ball anywhere on the field, just so tough to stop one-on-one. I expect to see more of that from Kyle Pitts, so that was an outstanding performance to get him up to number 9. Number 8, Najee Harris had a monster day, so he's up 5 spots. He was on the rankings previously because mainly of his receiving ability. You know, he was running okay, maybe well, but nothing, maybe a little underwhelming at the same time, nothing crazy. But he still had that production added on top of that, the receiving ability, how much of an important piece he was to the Steelers. That's why he was on the list. He's playing solid, had kind of both those things going for him. But now, after a monster day running for over 120 yards, that'll help him. And he continues to be a factor in the passing game as well. So he's up 5 spots to number 8. Again, key piece of the Steelers. 7, Trey Smith of the Chiefs. Yeah, he's been fantastic. Another gem of a pick for the Chiefs. Pass protecting and run block. He's a beast in terms of a run blocker in there. Moving down 2 spots, more so the guys having to move up that just had lights out performances. So that'd be the main reason why he moved down. But impressed with the Chiefs' offensive line in general, but the young guys as well. 6, Mac Jones going to stay put. You know, the way the game against the Texans in Week 5 kind of started, I think maybe he would have moved on a little bit. You know, wasn't playing really poorly, but wasn't playing, at a high level because, we're talking the 6 out of all the rookies, hundreds of rookies. He wasn't really playing at that level. But then he kind of leads the comeback. He didn't do anything crazy, I guess, in the comeback, but he played very well, leads the comeback, very, very accurate with the ball in that second half. That's going to help him kind of stay put at number 6. He's clearly been the best rookie quarterback. But who he played, Davis Mills, actually had a pretty good game as well, and we're still going to see more reps from some of the other guys as well, of course. And the guys that have got the reps does feel like maybe they could be getting better. So we'll see if any rookie quarterbacks, I would think, I'm going to predict that 1 or 2 join him in this top 15 at some point here. It's still pretty early, so we'll see, depending on how they play. But he's at 6. 5, Odafe Away, going to rise up 3 spots into the top 5. Great performance against the Colts. He had a key strip sack on Carson Wentz. The Colts were knocking on the door, about to be 14-0 right off the bat. And I know the Ravens had a comeback, but I don't know. I think if the Colts score on that drive, they put another touchdown on the board, I don't think the Ravens come back. It's getting started down 14-0 instantly, and the Colts could have kept pushing. He jumped that snap about as perfect as you can jump it. And there's guys that do that every game. Sometimes they do it multiple times every game. They'll jump a perfect snap. Sometimes they'll go off sides trying to do it. But I don't know if I've seen it where it's just over. The second the guy jumped the snap, it's done. It's over. And that's because how freaky of an athlete he is. You see why the athleticism, the speed matters. There's always those guys, those people are like, we're overrating him because he's this fast. I mean, it wasn't really only that. He's quick, he's fast, he's explosive, he's got great traits, good get-off, he's got the upside. Thought he had, without having sack production, I thought he had production, so I was very high on him, and it showed up in that moment. And he's had those big, big impact plays this year. It's early, but the whole year so far he's had them. So, he's up 3 spots to number 5. Been very impressed with him because I was high on him, but I'm still surprised that he's this high because I was mainly high on him because of his upside, what he can become, and he's already what is he going to become now? What he's already able to, he might be a special one for the future because we know the upside, and what he's already doing now on top of that's pretty damn ridiculous. So pretty hyped about Away. 4, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is going to stay at 4. He's been fantastic for the Browns. Kind of increasing reps along the way. He did have an injury at the end of last week, so in that game against Chargers. So let's see if he plays against the Cardinals. But he's been fantastic, especially those key downs, third down, sometimes fourth down pass coverage, getting across the field, getting the proper angle. That's what he's best at. He flies around the football field, making plays in the backfield as well. So he stays at 4. Away probably pretty close to Hop and him. It's pretty damn close. Slater's going to stay at 3. Early, very, very early in that game against the Browns, he had a little, he was getting beat a little bit. Maybe if it didn't show up on a sack, you still watch, maybe not a lot, just a play or 2 here and there. And that, splitting hairs when we're at the top tier, so top tier guys here, one mess up could move you down. with other guys coming up. So I was kind of thinking, yeah, that could hurt him, but he really picked it up in that game, really held it down for Justin Herbert there. So Rashawn Slater, been very thrilled with how he's played this year. So he's been fantastic. Looks like we knew it was a steal at that point. He was supposed to be gone in the draft at that point. 1 and 2, we actually have a change. Micah Parsons going to go down 1. It's not really because of him. It's just Jamar Chase belongs at number 1. Another ridiculous performance from Jamar Chase, making ridiculous catches, getting downfield, tracking the ball extremely well, fighting off defenders without interfering. Like I always say, what he does best. Also what he does best is the point of the catch. Whether it's fooling the defensive back or tracking the ball correctly, all of the above there. And another fantastic week for him. Parsons been playing great, been playing out of his mind, especially given that he switched positions, even though he's kind of played a little bit of everything at Penn State. But Jamar Chase has been just insane, and another consistent week, another week that he's consistently been great. I think he just belongs at number 1 right now. So, and we saw Justin Jefferson at number 1 for a chunk of last year in these rankings, and now, hey, another LSU receiver was his teammate, was that two-headed monster there at LSU, maybe the best team in college football history, and you see Jamar Chase at the top now. So, I'm excited about Chase because a lot of people started to doubt him. They doubted the Bengals in that pick. I was a big-time take Jamar Chase because it's a rare type of receiver, and you got that chemistry with Burrow. They needed that X receiver, so I'm glad it's worked out there. And you see some guys, Samuel Cosmi was on the list last week. He's off the list just because other guys had to move in, but he's been a fantastic run blocker. Stokes, I think Stokes is ahead of schedule right now, and he's getting the opportunity right now, so I really like the way he's playing. Really good cover, too, physical corner. Wants to tackle. I like him. Only guys moving up. Kind of had to move those guys at the bottom down. Devontae Smith's been solid. Hurts has missed him a few times. So that's hurting him a little bit. Ojulari feels like he's been the Giants' best pass rusher. Surtain has had his good moments as well. Javonte Williams is going to get going at any time now. So it's just a matter of getting more carries, but he's towards the top of the league in yards after contact, breaking tackles. So that's impressive. And Nate Hobbs has been a fantastic slot corner for the Las Vegas Raiders there. So those are some guys. And again, I think some quarterbacks will probably have, they'll probably sneak past those honorable mentions right in the rankings at some point. Maybe not next week, maybe not the week after, maybe the week after that. That's kind of when I expect them to get going. Maybe they struggle. There's been some struggles besides Mac Jones. Again, I thought Davis Mills played very well last week. The Texans probably should have won that game, but those are my rookie rankings heading into week 6. We'll be back with these every single week. We got regular power rankings. We got weekly picks, score predictions. Recently had playoff predictions, trade deadline content. So check it all out. A lot going on in our Twitter updates, keeping you guys involved in polls, players of the week, picking games, everything like that. You join our league through there as well. So check out the Twitter link in the comments. It's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.